Hello my friends and welcome to another video. I am so excited to be here. I've been making a ton of things and I've been really wanting to share it. I have a little bit of like renewed energy for sewing and knitting, and so that's what we're going to be talking about today, is what I've been making over the past, I guess, few months, but predominantly June, I would say, is kind of when I got a bit of like my sewing and knitting mojo back. So I will be talking about both sewing and knitting in this video. I'll start with knitting up at the front and then I will do sewing at the end of the video, and I'll have that kind of in the timestamps as well, so you can just pick whichever one you want, or if you want to watch the whole thing, that would be great. So before we get into it, I do want to let you know that we are doing a giveaway, and I'm doing a giveaway with Onlang, and it will be for some yarn for a project that I will share later on in this video. So if you are interested in that, you are going to have to stay tuned, but it will be near the end of the knitting portion of this video. So if you want to skip to that and see what that is about, you can, but I highly encourage you to watch the whole video because it's going to be a fun one. I've got lots of great fun things going on here. All right, let's get into it. Here's what I made first. So I'm currently wearing the Tolsta Tank, and it's from the Crayabea, and I absolutely love this. I really wasn't expecting to, because truthfully, I'm not really like a summer knitting person. I had tried it in the past and I didn't end up wearing both garments that I had made. I just really like wanted to be a summer knitter, but when you make two things and you spend so much time on them and then you don't like them, it's like you kind of feel like, what's the point? But with this one, as I was knitting it, I was enjoying it. I was really enjoying the yarn. And then I put it on and I was like, oh yeah, this is like exactly the right garment for this weather that we're having. And we're having quite a heat wave here in Montreal right now. So I'm really grateful for something that is quite light and airy like this. So like I said, this is the Tolsta Tank, and I knit this in Hobby Friends. It's their cotton silk print, and this is what it looks like. Really pretty colors, and I wasn't sure how this was gonna knit up, but as you can see, it's lovely, and I'll put some photos in as well. But it's a 77% cotton and a 23% silk. It comes at a DK weight, and it was absolutely perfect for this garment. So I knit the first size, and usually I'll knit like a small or a medium, depending on how much ease I want. But the thing with summer garments is I've been burned in the past by making the wrong size. And I did read some feedback that it is a bit of like it was fitting a bit bigger. And I had a suspicion that this was going to stretch a bit and relax with wear. And I was right. So I knit the first size, and I was not really sure because it was looking super tiny. I'm like, I don't even know if I could fit this over my head because it's just a regular long tail cast on. You knit it from the bottom up. And I just was really not sure if it was gonna fit. It was looking super teeny. And then after I blocked it and put it on, it was feeling still like a little bit tight. But now that I've been wearing it basically all day, it's just relaxed so well. Like, it's really nice, it's really breezy, it's really light. The fabric that it makes is really wonderful. I just enjoyed everything about this knit. I didn't even knit a gauge swatch. I just was like, I'm gonna go into it blind. I normally would knit a swatch, but I just, for some reason, was like, I was confident that it was gonna work out. And I really loved knitting with this yarn. It's just like, it has such a nice hand feel. Even though, you know, I typically like working with wool, I don't really love cotton. This just felt really good on my hands. It's quite soft. It's really light. It just was a breeze to knit with, and I knit it on my metal needles and it just flew and was delightful. I would knit with this again. I really liked it. So this is the silk print version. They've got like a solid one, and then they've got this one. And I've been trying to play around more with colors. I've been in like a bit of a depressive funk for probably 6 months, and I'm like finally starting to emerge. I'm like back on my medication and it feels really great. And so I've like emerged. I just realized like one of my nails doesn't have color on it anymore, but that's okay. We're gonna continue. Anyways, I've emerged from like this depressive funk. And I realized like while I was in having this depressive episode, I was really leaning towards bright colors. And you'll see this kind of as we go through, everything is bright, nothing is really neutral. And so I've been noticing that like I've just, I guess, been trying to make and wear happy things that make me feel good, that are fun, that are engaging, that are bright. And so I was sort of unknowingly trying to give myself some dopamine. And honestly, it worked. Knitting with all these things, all these colors have been really lovely. And I highly recommend it. If you're feeling sad, or even if you're not feeling sad, I highly recommend it. As a former neutral girly, I'm really into this. So a little bit about this tank. It's knit bottom up, as I said. It's really quite basic. It's just got a 1x1 rib at the bottom, and you basically knit it in the round up until you split. I was gonna say for sleeves, but until you split for the armholes. And then you knit it identical back, and you knit the front the same as the back. And you just do decreases up until you get to here, and then you do the ribbing and you cast off, and then you pick up and you knit this strap area in the round, and you do the same. And it's quite easy. Honestly, it's really great. I really enjoyed knitting this. I showed it to my mom, and she wants me to knit one for her. And I knit this in like a week. Like, it was fast on DK yarn, and I believe, I can't remember what needles, but it was whatever was recommended. I think 4mm, I want to say. But again, I'll put everything in the description. And I just blasted through this. I wasn't like I was on vacation when I was knitting it, but I just really loved it. It turned out great, and I'm gonna wear this a ton, and I absolutely would buy this yarn again because it's just so comfy, and it's like, it's not too hot. It's honestly the perfect summer yarn, and it's affordable, which is great. We love that. Okay, the next thing that I knit is a test knit, and it's from Emma's Knits on Instagram. I also interviewed her in my last YouTube video. If you want to check it out, I'll have it linked up here. She's really lovely. She's from Germany, and she's just a sweetheart. I have test knit for her a number of times. I think there's only like 2 or 3 patterns of hers that I haven't test knit. But she's really a wonderful, lovely person. And my first test knit for her was her clematis sweater, which is one of my favorite sweaters, and it was super fun to knit. And so when she put out a testing call for the clematis vest, I was like, hello, immediately yes. And so this is it right here. This is the clematis vest. It's a little bit wrinkly, which is surprising because I just blocked it. But this is the clematis vest. And I think that this was such a fun knit. It was super engaging because you've got this diagonal button band here. And so I'll get into telling you a little bit about what this is all about, how you knit this, what I knit it with. So this, as I said, was a test knit, and I knit it with Bio Balance. So it was, Big Bio Balance. And I had never knit with that yarn before, but I really liked it. It's a cotton wool blend from BC Garn, and it's called Big Bio Balance. And I knit it in this sort of like yellowy green, like it kind of changes color depending on the time of day and like the lighting, and I just am pulling hairs off of it. But I'll go up closer. I've got these like buttons from my stash that I think are really fun. I've always loved digging through my big, like I have a giant cookie tin filled with buttons, and I just like love digging through them to find buttons that match, and oftentimes I can. So the way that you knit this is you start with the back, and you go up, and then you knit the shoulders, and then you kind of have a bit, let me try to show you. You've got this little funny piece in here. You can see that. So it's a cardigan style, but it is attached at the shoulders. So you can't wear it like completely open. So this is attached here. And so you're sort of like picking up from underneath it and then knitting across here, and you're putting this on hold, and then you sort of get everything around the back. I hope I'm explaining this well. It is kind of complicated. I wouldn't say it's like a very beginner friendly knit, just because you have to really keep track of all the rows as you go. So you have to really, keep track of your increases, keep track of your decreases. I'm usually not really good at that sort of thing, but basically what you're doing is you're keeping the same number of rows as you go back and forth, but you're always decreasing on one side and increasing on the other. So the stitch count remains the same, but you've got to be quite like diligent with making sure that you're knitting everything at the same pace. Otherwise, you'll get like weird funky. Some people were getting like this part was a bit longer, and so it can look a bit uneven if you're not knitting it right to pattern, or at least like making thoughtful modifications. I didn't make any modifications. I did make her second size, I guess maybe the size small, and I really like everything about it. It's definitely a bit warm to wear in this current weather. It is quite, it's like, because it's cotton and wool, it's still like, it's got a bit of a scratchiness. It's not like the softest yarn, but I think it will be comfy to wear like on a cooler summer day with shorts or like light linen pants, and then will be great to sort of pair with other things in my wardrobe, jeans, and just like gently layering it up. And this is just such a fun, beautiful color. Like I'm really feeling this a lot. Like I think it's quite lovely, and the color makes me smile, and it was really fun to knit. I knit this while I was in Mexico on vacation, and I was just having a blast. I was like really happy to be knitting it. And I also discovered I was really like disappointed in my gauge, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but up here I basically was like my gauge was like really loose. I was like rowing out a lot, and you may be able to tell it did block out a lot, but this is quite, I would say it's like pretty bumpy. I'm definitely rowing out up here. And then I watched this video from Chloe Knit or Chloe Tricot here on YouTube, and I will link her video because it's really wonderful if you have any issues with tension, any issues with rowing out, especially if you're knitting flat and knitting with like a summer fiber. It's really like, honestly, it was such a game changer because then my tension just smoothed out. I'm gonna see if I can show you better from the inside, because that's kind of where you usually see tension issues. So, and she explains this all in her video, but I thought it would be cool to show you sort of the before and after of following her video. So here you can see, hopefully, I'm not sure if this will work, but you can see potentially that I'm rowing out a bit. There's sorts of like these like little horizontal lines that appear when you're rowing out. And then further down, I've definitely still got some issues, but it just smooths out so much more. There's still a little bit, but overall, like my tension improved drastically. I will see if I can insert some B-roll potentially if it's not showing up, but I just like in person, I can just really see it. Anyways, that was really cool to me. And I feel like I sort of like mastered my tension now, or I'm starting to like master my tension and just really figure out how do you have even tension when I'm knitting flat, because that always is such a big issue for me. And I've been actively trying to tighten up my gauge because, well, for one, I read in Summer Lee's book, and I'll talk about that later on in the video, but in Summer Lee's sock book, she talks about knitting tension for socks and why it's important to have like a tighter gauge when you're knitting socks, because it helps them last longer and it helps them to wear through a bit less, and it's just better, you know, better to do that. And my tension is notoriously loose every time. I always have to size down with needles. And so I've been actively trying to tighten my tension. And so I think I'm kind of getting into a good place, and I feel like my knitting is starting to look really nice. And I'm starting to get like that nice middle ground tension, like not too tight, not too loose. It's like the Cinderella, or no, what is it? The Goldilocks of tension. So this is the Clematis vest, which I absolutely love. It's not out yet, but it will be out this week. As soon as it's out, I will update the description, and you can follow her on Instagram. I'll also link her account because she'll be announcing it there when it's live. So those are the two things that I finished. I also have some works in progress with like 2 finished socks, but they're 2 different socks. So I'll show you those too. I don't think they count as finished objects because it's not like a finished pair, but I'll show you them anyways. I've been on a bit of a sock knitting kick since picking up Summer Lee's book. Let me show you. Okay, so I got one in here. One like little sort of, I don't know if it's a hack, but if you don't want to spend money on project bags, I always use dust bags, like especially shoe dust bags. I always use those for project bags for my knitting. I just like it. So this is one, this is the this is the Lova sock from lapel. I had to really think about that. I had knit these previously. I made a yellow pair and I talked about them in another video. They look very funny like this. I haven't blocked it, but it's a twisted rib sock, and I made this like considerably shorter than her sample, and I made it even shorter than my last one. It's like an ankle sock. It comes right to my ankle. And then I also did less repeats of the increases that make it this ruffle. So I believe I can actually probably tell. So instead of doing like 5 rounds of increases, I did 2 or 3, and it ends up with this like softer ruffle. And so it's an overall twisted rib with the short row heel, I said that funny. And I was working on increasing my tension with this sock, and I think I increased it, I like made it too tight because, well, it's kind of hard to get on now. I'm hoping with blocking it stretches out a bit. But yeah, it's a bit tight around here. But my other socks relaxed so much that they were too big, almost too big. So I was like, hopefully this helps. So anyways, I'm knitting this with, I believe I did the 60 stitches for this. And then it's a toe up sock. So you start at the bottom. Honestly, this is a game changer for me in terms of learning how to do toe up socks. You do a Turkish cast on, and then you work your way up, and the Turkish cast on is so lovely, so quick and easy. I really like how it looks. It like just has quite a nice shape as well. The way that you cast on the toe, and then everything just looks really good. And then you do the short row heel and just a regular cast off. And honestly, it's just a really delightful knit. It's a great sock pattern. I really love this. It looks hilarious because it's just this long foot, and it looks really skinny because of the twisted rib. But I really like this sock a lot. This is with botanical, I believe it's botanical fibers or botanical yarns. It's what I'll link it in the description box, but it's this lovely variegated yarn. And I've got the skein here so you can see, or the cake rather. This is what it looks like. And you can see the variegation. It's just, or it's a solid, but like or a tonal, is that what you used to call it? I don't know, sorry. It's a tonal, but you can see the like lighter pieces in here. It's got some white and some lighter pink just from the nature of how it was dyed. And it's all dyed in Nova Scotia with, I believe it's like all natural fibers, or natural dyes, which is really fun. I really love this yarn. It's a bit of a thicker sock yarn, it feels like, but I'm really enjoying knitting with this. And I've got my second sock on the go here. And this is also the sock that got me comfortable with knitting magic loop, because typically I knit with short circulars, and I pretty much always knit with 2.25 needles. It's just been my go-to. Maybe I'll experiment with knitting with a different size or a different needle size, but it's been working for me. I'm still pretty new to sock knitting. But honestly, I thought I was going to be a magic loop hater, and I'm not. I love it. I'm 100% converted. Like, it's just so easy to knit. I don't know what my aversion was. I think my aversion actually was using the wrong needles. Like this Chiagu needles with the cable, such a game changer for doing sock knitting. Anyways, that's the Lova sock. I put this back. I've been really liking knitting on these, but it's been a little bit. I've kind of put them on hold for a little while. And then I'll show you the other sock pattern I have. So I finished one sock again. I love this. I think it's super fun. This is the, oh, it's looking a little funny. Did I do this? No, we're good. So it's not blocked yet, but this is just a sort of like make your own sock recipe from Summer Lee's book. And I used some yarn from Sunday Fiber Co. And this is her barefoot sock in her color. I think it's like limoncello or something like that, something lemony. And I did 2 little stripes here, which I think turned out really nice. Quite thick. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there, it's 8x8. So I did, oh my gosh, I'm really struggling with the words. So I did 8 rows, there we go, of the yellow, 8 rows of the white, 8 rows of the yellow, and then continue down. And then I finished off with the toe. And this is a slip stitch heel, which I had never done before. I'm pretty new to my sock knitting, so that's why a lot of these techniques are new to me. But this fits great. I really like this. I love Summer Lee's book. I feel like I've been learning a lot about like playing with color, and I really like the sporty vibe. It's great. This is Lang wool. There's just basic sock yarn, I believe. And it's fine. It feels a bit thin, to be honest. I don't know why, it feels like a thinner sock yarn. I don't know if you've had that experience, but for me, that's kind of what it is feeling like. When I was knitting it in comparison with the yellow, I just felt like the yellow was a bit thicker. But that's okay. It's still quite nice. And I just wanted like a cool, sporty little sock, like a little varsity style sock. And I love it. So that's that. And then I did cast on just a teeny bit. But now that I'm looking at it, I think I have to rip this back because the stripes are not even. I did this just off like the top of my head. I was out and I was like, oh, I want to cast this on. And then now that I'm looking at it, I've only done like 5 rows of the stripe here. And it needs to be 8. So I'm gonna have to rip that back. But these are on my 9-inch circular needles, which is what I typically was knitting with. And I do like this, I think, for top down, but I mean, who's to say? I'm really new in my sock knitting adventure, as I mentioned. And I got these little cute stitch markers. This is a little strawberry. I think it's adorable. And yeah, anyways, those are my socks. Those are my 2 sock projects that I have on the go right now. And then, oh gosh, I have a few whips. So let me show you the longest standing whip, I guess, that I have. And I did talk about it in my previous video. But it got warm and I basically abandoned this. But this is, oh my gosh, I got tomato sauce or something on this. I forgot about that. Look at that. I'm gonna have to try to get that out. That is stressful. Look at that. Oh God. I really wish I didn't see that. I think it'll come out though. It doesn't look like too intense of a stain. It looks more like a spice or something. Like I don't think it's super soaked in. But let's get back to what this is. The Leith Cardigan from Creabea. And this is a really fun pattern. I knit this stripe pipe sweater and I loved it. And I immediately wanted to knit more stripey things. So I started to knit this. I was gonna try to show you more of it, but this is really all you need to see because there's only the 2 colors. And I knit this all with scrap yarn, which is super fun. And I really wanted to get rid of a bunch of stuff and I did. And it's been great. So I believe this is Hobby Highland wool. This is from Knitting for Olive. It's their double soft merino. The green is Cascade 220. And then I have a few other colors I'll show you. I've got this pink. This is from, I think this is also Knitting for Olive double soft merino, but I'm not 100% sure. And then I've got a purple that will be the other color that is in my knitting closet. So I've been really enjoying this. I've been knitting the second size and I paused because I was doing the shoulder, I was grafting the shoulder and it looks like garbage. Like I have a hole there and I just like lost my train of thought. So I have to rip this out and do that again, which is fine. But that's partially why it went on hold and also because it got hot and I didn't want to work on this anymore. But it's a really fun cardigan and I was really good at, you know, doing most of my weeding in my ends as I went. There's still like a few, but it's not so bad. And yeah, it was really fun to knit on. Honestly, I can't speak too much about it because it's been a while. It's got like a pretty easy intarsia. So if you're just sort of figuring out intarsia, this would be a good place to start. And it's a good scrappy project because it uses 4 contrast colors or uses 5 colors. So this sort of color plus all the other fun colors. And you don't have to knit it in colors or in stripes or whatever. It's pretty straightforward. I will say one thing that I thought was kind of annoying is the shoulders. So she says she doesn't really give you great instructions for the shoulders. So you're supposed to have the shoulders go like alternating stripes, but you can see here I have like a big block of the blue, and it's because it's not really that clear to me how to avoid this. There's something about you have to measure it and measure the gauge of your stripes to make sure that when you get to this point they are opposite colors. But when you get to here, you're not supposed to add or decrease any length. And so if you get here and you're off, you're just off. And I didn't love that. I felt like there's alternative ways to make that happen from what she did. Like I think there would have been like a more clear way to make this happen, but that's okay. I know she tries to put a lot of different like fun modifications and make her pattern super customizable, but I do think that sometimes that means that you maybe get less guidance where you would want it to be. That's just my opinion, but otherwise I really like this. Is the second pattern that I've knit from her, and I mean, I love this top, so I can't say anything negative about it. She's got pretty like straightforward designs. So that's this. It's the Leith cardigan. I really should actually start knitting on this again, because I wear cardigans year round, and this is like, the colors are so fun, like so summer. I'm gonna put this away, and then I have one more work in progress, which is honestly wild. I've never usually liked this. Let me show you. It's another summer top. And I'm knitting it with, this is Flaxen Silk Fine. It's by Sweet Georgia, Flaxen Silk Fine, I believe. It's a really nice, pretty green. It's quite a textured yarn as well. I don't know if this is, there we go. Really pretty, really textured. And then I'm knitting it held with, this is just like a hobby cotton bamboo rainbow yarn, and this is what it looks like so far. I clearly haven't gotten too far in it. Let me try to focus in. Is it doing it? There we go. You can see the marling that's happening here. I really only have about an inch and a half, because I just cast this on yesterday. Truthfully, I'm not enjoying it. I didn't gauge swatch this. I think it'll be okay, but I just started it yesterday. And this is the sole top from Rose Knitwear. I've never knit from them before. It's like a DK weight, or I guess like a bit, maybe like a heavy DK, because you hold two fingering yarns together. I'm just getting in a few rows of this. I'm not really enjoying it. I know I just started, but it's just something about it, like the yarns together. It's cotton and silk. It feels really bulky. I have to like be careful that I'm picking up like both stitches as I go. I'm not sure if I'm loving these colors together so far. I think I wish the green was a bit brighter, but I'm kind of trusting the process on this. And if I don't like it, maybe I'll just gift it to my mom, because I think she would like this, but we'll see. I'm not 100% sure yet. We're just gonna trust the process. This looks like it'll be a quick knit. I feel like it's already knitting up quite fast. And so I just wanted another summer knit. I've been in the mood for summer knitting between the vest and this top. So I was like, let's just get another summer project in the bag, and then I'll get back to all my regular scheduled programming of woolly things, which is honestly what I love the best anyways. And so on that note, let's get into everything that I have purchased or received recently. There's a few things, not a ton, but there's a few. So let's do that. Okay, look at this color. This is incredible. It is maybe a bit more orangey in person. This is coming out very, very vibrant. But this is from Urso. They're a Quebec-based company, a small, I believe one-woman show or so. It's 80% wool, 20% nylon. And this is the colorway Fox. and she's based out of Quebec, and I bought this at this really fun little like pop-up that Julie Asselin does twice a year, or once a year, sorry, and she does it out in the Quebec townships. And I went with my coworker Judith, and we just had the best time. We both bought this yarn because I just could see it from like outside. It like beckoned to me, and I was like, Judith, I have to go touch this. And so I went to go touch it, and I loved everything about it. I loved the color. I loved the rusticness. Doesn't smell too woolly, but honestly, I loved it. And I chatted with the lady for a while, and she was so sweet. And I hemmed and hawed, and then I went away for a bit, and then I came back, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. So I really want to knit like a textured pullover or a textured cardigan. I'm thinking something like the Ingrid sweater from Petite Knit, or maybe something like a little bit more, or a cardigan that has a bit more texture. If you have a cardigan that has like a boxy shape and is kind of cropped, I mean, I can always make it cropped, so that's not a huge deal. But if you know of a cardigan pattern that is a bit more boxy and is like a textured pattern, let me know. I would prefer it to have a bit of like a higher neck, not a V-neck, but I'm not super stressed about that. So let me know in the comments, because honestly, I really want to cast this on soon, because I just want to wear this when it starts to get cooler. I love it. It's so bright. It will knit up apparently about a DK, but she said it's spun a bit more loosely, and so the gauge can like really vary. It looks like a 2-ply. I love this. I love this. And this will be enough for a sweater, she said. It's got quite a bit of yardage in here. It's 372 yards, 120 grams. I'm feeling good about this. So yeah, this is honestly very exciting to me. And then I'll show you some of the other things that I got. Oh, this, can you see this? Look, this is my first La Bien-Aimée purchase. This is a sock yarn in the colorway Speckle Boom, I believe. It's kind of like rubbed off on here, but I think I'm not in focus. Let's try to get in focus. There we go. Hello. I love how this looks so much. It's just got so many fun speckles, and I've never worked with La Bien-Aimée, and I'm gonna make some socks out of this. I've been really inspired by Summer Leith's sock book, as I mentioned, and I just like love following her channel. She does such amazing things with colors, and so I'm really looking forward to making some socks with this. I don't know what yet. Probably something a bit more like nothing too patterned, because I don't want it to get lost in this beautiful yarn. But this yarn, it just feels like a beautiful little gift. So special. I'm really excited to knit with this. And then my last purchase I will show you is a part of the giveaway. Yay, let me show you. Here it is. I don't know if I can hold up all of these, but I do like how, I like when knitting podcasters hold up their yarn, like all the quantities, so you can really like see it. But there's a lot here. Like this is all the blue. So beautiful. And it'll be held with this. Look how pretty that is gonna be. Ah, I love it. I just love this so much. And so the pattern that I'm knitting with this is the Goodrun Feroce sweater. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I apologize. But it's just a giveaway with Onling, and this is their super soft wool and Angora, and it honestly feels delightful. It's super fine wool, 75% super fine wool and 25% Angora, and it just feels like really lovely. This is the color Mustard, and this is the color, where does it say it? I don't see it. It doesn't have the color on it, but this is Mustard, and then this doesn't have the color on it. But I'm really loving these two together. I think they'll be really great. I wanted to knit a colorwork sweater like this for ages. This was like a bit of a mission, to be honest, to get these. They were super lovely, the brand. They reached out to work with me on a partnership, and they sent me the yarn, but then they thought that it got lost, and it looked like it got lost on their end, but I had received it already. And so they sent another one to replace the one that was lost. And so I have two. And rather than sending it back, I thought, you know, let's do a giveaway, and I'll give away one of the 2 yarn kits. So I haven't opened the other one, but you will be getting exactly this. And I do apologize because it's in my size. I believe it's for the size small, but I'll put the exact sizes on here. So with this yarn, you could either make the exact same sweater, you could make a different colorwork sweater, you could make something different, because there's 6 of these, and they come at, what is it? They're at about 180 meters in here for 50 grams. And so you could do something with just the blue and then something else with the yellow. You could do a shawl. So I am sorry that it is for one specific size. That is just kind of like the nature of this, how this giveaway came to be. But I thought it would be really fun because I haven't done a giveaway on YouTube, and I've really been wanting to. And I had the yarn, so I thought, let's do it. So if you would like to participate in the giveaway, please comment down below. All the comments will be entered into the giveaway, and I would love to hear what you would do with it. Would you knit the same sweater? Would you knit something else? Just let me know, and I will announce the winners next time. So that is really, really fun. And that is gonna conclude the knitting portion of this video. So if you're done with all that, feel free to move on. I'm gonna talk about sewing, because I have been on a sewing kick recently. Finally, I was like really not about sewing, and then I just went hard with all my sewing projects. So my first sewing project that I had finished were my first Pomona pants, and I've been talking about these on Instagram a lot, and I love these. They're a cotton gingham that is from Core Fabrics. I think most of these fabrics are going to be from Core Fabrics, because I do work with the sister brand Closet Core, and so we do get to work with their fabrics quite a bit. And so I was using this amazing gingham, and I bought enough to make a matching top. So I do have to actually sew something with the fabric to make the matching set. But for now, I just got these amazing Pomona pants that I've been wearing constantly. I love styling them, and I made like a little matching neck scarf to go with it. And now I want to make matching neck scarves to go with everything. If you are doing knitting as like a first time, if you're knitting if you're sewing as a beginner, highly recommend the Pomona pants. I can't believe I had gone 4 years into my sewing practice without making them. They're kind of a staple. I feel like most people have made them. There's just like 2 pattern pieces, or like one big pattern piece, and that includes the waistband, and it's basically the front and the back in one pattern piece, and then you only sew the inseams. You don't sew any side seams. It's wonderful. They sew up so fast, and so right after I made those, I made this matching short set. I had already actually made the top. It's a zero waist pattern that I have a video about if you want to check it out up here. But I made the matching shorts, and it's such a cute little set. I kind of feel like I'm wearing pajamas, and I mean, they could easily be pajamas. And I love this little set. I think it's super, super cute. It's like a really nice, breezy, light. I love the little Pomona shorts. I want to make more Pomona shorts. And honestly, I think I sewed those shorts in 3 hours, and the pants probably in like a day, maybe honestly less than a day. But all that to say, Pomona pants, great pattern. Okay, and the next thing that I did is I think one of my favorite garments I've ever made, and it is this amazing jumpsuit. It's the Eucalyptus Jumpsuit from Deer and Doe, and I made it in this Core Fabrics orange print cotton linen blend. And so they were doing this whole campaign because they designed this fabric. It's like a collection of like market prints, and so it's like fruit and veggies, all different prints. They've got blueberries, tomatoes, Swiss chard, leeks. It's wonderful. It's really, really cute. I would go check it out. But they let me pick one of the fabrics, and so I picked the oranges, and it just felt like such a perfect match. I instantly was like, Eucalyptus Jumpsuit. And so I made the short version. There's also a pant version, but it's so nice for the summer. It's so breezy. It's got like a nice back vent. I love like how it's got like a slight elastic. It's got elastic in the back, so it's comfy. It gets like a really nice snug fit around the butt. It's really lightweight, the fabric, but there's a lot of interfacing in the pattern, so it actually worked out where I could use use this fabric for something a bit more structured. I loved it. I loved sewing it. It was super fun. Every time I wear it, I get people smiling at me and laughing and being like, that's so cute, you're adorable, that's so cute, where'd you get that? And I'm like, I made it. So that's the best. And then the last thing that I made is this slip dress. It's from Les Perlin. She is a Montreal-based pattern designer, and I made her Cove slip dress. And I think it turned out so pretty. It's from this Core Fabrics viscose in this sort of like pistachio and like cream polka dot. Really beautiful. It's a viscose twill. And it's just got beautiful drape the way that viscose does, and really pretty little bust detail gathering under the bust. I modified it to have the straps tie rather than have like a little like adjuster clasp, because I don't do that. And I love it, and it was lovely to wear to the wedding that I went to, and I styled it with like a t-shirt under it recently, and it really changed my perspective on it, because I actually really don't like bias cut slip dresses. I made a video about a previous wedding guest dress that I had made, and it really like triggered my body dysmorphia. And so I think this kind of like bias cut is just not for me. It just feels like it hugs me in a way that I don't feel comfortable with. It really makes me feel not very good in my body. And so we're just gonna cut that going forward. It's a great pattern, but I'm just gonna make things that aren't on the bias, or at least if they are on the bias, have them not in the slip dress form. I think that's like the major thing. I'm gonna stick to like wrap dresses and things that have a little bit more ease. It's just kind of my natural comfort zone. So that is everything. I feel like that was a lengthy video, but I really enjoyed talking about all of this. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to keep up to date with me, I post everything on Instagram first. That's kind of my most up-to-date place. Otherwise, I post here when I can, trying to do it more. But like I said, mental health kind of kicked my butt over the past 6 months, and so it's been a bit hard to rally for YouTube. But I am feeling better. I'm medicated again. And it's been helping a lot. So again, thank you so much for being here. If you want to watch another one of these videos, I'll link my last one right here. I think it was from like 2 months ago, but it kind of shows some of the progression of these projects. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one, hopefully sooner rather than later. Please subscribe if you want more of these videos. Leave a comment to enter the giveaway, and I'll see you next time. Bye.